Gather around. My little ones, Grandpa said. Let me tell you a fascinating tale about Kofi, a man with a very special tree growing right on top of his head. This story is full of magic and adventure, so listen closely. Once upon a time, in a small, vibrant village nestled between golden savannas and deep forests, there lived a man named Kofi. Kofi wasn't like other villagers. He had a peculiar feature that made him stand out. On his head grew a small, lush tree. This tree was not just any tree, but a magical baobab with leaves that shimmered in the sunlight and branches that swayed gently in the breeze. Kofi was well loved in his village, not only for his kind heart, but also for his unique ability to speak with animals, a gift granted to him by the tree. Every morning, birds of all colors would perch on the branches of the baobab, chirping melodiously, sharing secrets of the skies with Kofi. One sunny morning, as Kofi was talking to a wise old owl, the village was suddenly stirred by the arrival of a frantic messenger. He brought news of a great challenge that had befallen the neighboring village. Their sacred river, which supplied them with water, had mysteriously dried up. Without it, the crops would fail and the animals would leave. The villagers were in dire need of help. Kofi, with his big heart, knew he had to do something. So he decided to embark on an adventure to find the source of the problem and help the neighboring village. He bid farewell to his fellow villagers, who looked up to him with hope and admiration. With a backpack filled with essentials and his magical baobab tree atop his head, Kofi set off on his journey. The first part of his journey took him through the sun-drenched savannah. Here, he encountered a herd of elephants. The leader of the herd, a wise old elephant named Tembo, recognized Kofi and approached him. After listening to Kofi's mission, Tembo offered to help by providing a clue. He had heard a rumbling sound coming from the direction of the great mountain the night before. Thanking Tembo, Kofi headed towards the great mountain, curious about what he might find. As he approached the mountain, the terrain became rocky and the path steep. Kofi climbed with determination, guided by the birds that sang encouraging songs. Halfway up the mountain, he stumbled upon a hidden cave. Inside the cave, there was a sparkling pool of water, and beside it, an old tortoise named Ato, who seemed to be waiting for him. Ato explained that the water from this secret spring was the source of the river in the neighboring village. However, a spell had been cast by a mischievous spirit, redirecting the water to this hidden pool. To break the spell and restore the river's flow, Kofi needed to find the heart of the mountain, a mystical stone said to hold great power. Kofi thanked Ato and continued his climb up the great mountain. He faced many challenges along the way, including navigating through a maze of vines and solving riddles whispered by the wind. The first riddle. Kofi heard the wind whispering around him. It said, "I can't talk, but I tell secrets to the trees and send stories through the air. What am I?" Kofi thought hard. He remembered the sound in the leaves and the wind playing with his hair. "I know," he said. "You're the wind." The wind sounded happy, like leaves moving. "You hear really well, Kofi? Ready for the next one?" The second riddle. The wind made words in the air around Kofi. "I have lots of eyes, but don't blink. Lots of mouths, but don't make noise. I'm full of stories, but can't talk. What am I?"
Kofi thought of the books in his village, full of stories. "You're a book," he said. The wind made a fun breeze that messed up Kofi's hair. "You're smart. Books have taught you well. Now, the last challenge." The third riddle. The wind spoke softly to Kofi. "I change my look with the seasons, but have one true heart. I give tired people shade and small animals a home, but you must be careful with me. What am I?" Kofi saw the big trees moving in the wind. He thought of their different leaves, the cool shade, and their strong roots. "You're a tree," he said with confidence. The wind made a sound like leaves. "You understand a lot, Kofi. You solved all the riddles. Now your real adventure begins."
Finally, after a long and tiring journey, he reached the summit. There, glowing amidst a bed of rare mountain flowers, was the heart of the mountain. As Kofi picked up the stone, he felt a surge of energy. The baobab tree on his head glowed with a radiant light, and the heart of the mountain pulsed in his hand. He knew what he had to do. He whispered a wish to the stone, asking it to break the spell and restore the river to its rightful course. Suddenly the ground trembled, and a loud rumbling filled the air. Kofi watched in amazement as a stream of water burst forth from the mountain's peak, cascading down its sides and flowing towards the dried-up riverbed. Kofi hurried back to the neighboring village, where he was greeted with cheers and gratitude. The villagers celebrated the return of their sacred river, and Kofi was hailed as a hero. As he returned to his own village, Kofi realized that his adventure had taught him the importance of courage, kindness, and the power of unity. His magical baobab tree continued to grow, just like the stories of his bravery that would be told for generations to come. From that day on, Kofi was known as Kofi of the Baobab, the man without tree on his head who brought water back to the river and hope to the people. The birds sang his tale, the animals spoke of his bravery, and the children listened with wide eyes, dreaming of their own adventures. And so, Kofi's story became a cherished part of the village's lore, reminding everyone that even the most unusual of us can make a big difference in the world. The story teaches us to be proud of what makes us different, to always help others, to be brave when facing tough times, to work together with friends, and to care for nature. It shows that being unique and kind can make a big difference.